Welcome to the podcast that guides men to demystify and develop their intuition. I'm your host, Doug Bites. Let's dig into the science and expand your horizons.
Welcome to another podcast. I'm mixing things up again as I have been the last few weeks. My sons have decided that they need to get me onto YouTube, and so I'm adapting to that. And again, I'm in a different location recording this because I got the camera running and the background's important. When I did the first 80 episodes, it didn't matter because you couldn't see where I was sitting. As long as I was in a room that wasn't echoing too much, etc., everything was good. So today I'm on the balcony at the back of my house, and we're on a couple of acres, and all our neighbours are on 10 to 20, 50 acres. So you will hear some noises. So I'm trying to get you into nature. So you'll hear birds in the background, I'm sure, and you might hear the odd car go past here and there. We've got a beautiful national park, a mile and a half, 2 kilometres away up the end of the road with beautiful waterfalls and swimming pools. So a lot of people do drive past for that. And it's a public holiday here in Australia, so there'll be a few people out venturing for that. So what I want to talk to you today is about why we do things. And I want you to think about this, men. The things that we do. And I've jotted down a few notes here on why we might do things, and just so we can think about our actions and our purpose and what we're doing. Is why we're doing things, is it driven by our ego? You know, maybe to show others that we're good enough. And in reality, that's more to show ourselves that we're good enough, because we may not feel that we're good enough. So if it's coming from our ego, that sense of thing, even if it is something we're wonderfully doing, the reason behind why we're doing things is extremely important. We might be doing things because we're benevolent. We want to give to others, to help others, and that's wonderful, but let's not try and tie our ego too much into that. Let's just try and give without a thought of what we're going to get back. There's quite a difference in that type of giving, where we're giving because we want to give. We have maybe a sense of purpose, that we understand that our purpose here on the planet is some benevolence, some giving. And yeah, that can be a reason for it. We might have an inner guidance, our intuition, that we may be following, and that inner guidance may be taking us to showing us that we need to act in a certain way, and the reason why we're doing things is because we have this inner guidance or a sense of purpose on why and what we do and where we're headed with our actions and our attitude towards it, our purpose behind it. All these things are very, very important on why we do things. And I mean, why we do anything. Why we talk to our partner, our spouse, our children, our work colleagues, our siblings, our parents in a certain way. All of those things are very important on why we act that way, why we do that, why we work so hard, why we stay back 30 minutes at the end of every day when everyone else has left work, why we go home 15 minutes earlier than everyone else because we're, whatever reason we have for that, why we don't go working out at the gym after we paid for a membership, why we do go to the gym all the time, why we've got 4 gym memberships at different gyms and we're obsessed. Why are we doing things? Is it because we don't feel good enough inside? Is it because we want to help other people? I'm not suggesting any reasons why you're doing things. I'm just offering them some suggestions for you to question why you do the things you do, because it's becoming more and more important every day on this earth what we do. We need to do things purposefully. We need to do things in a happy way, in a way that we feel fulfilled, and that can come from goal setting, or that can come from just being, where we don't have a goal set. where we just decide at a random moment in time to just be. And that is a wonderful thing to do. We need to have fun while we're doing these things. If we're setting some pretty excruciating, right out there goals so that we can achieve and all this sort of stuff, and you've got your ego fully involved, okay, fine. But have some fun while you're doing it. While you're practicing, training, putting in the effort to achieve that goal, have some fun in the whole thing. You know, like if it's so you can run a certain distance in a certain amount of time, have some fun occasionally while you're doing that run. Wear a weird t-shirt, you know, just one day. Run in an unusual location. Not every day, because then it's not fun, it just becomes habitual. But just mix it up a bit. Do something different. You know, put on a crazy looking colourful t-shirt with a weird meme on it, and run in a location where there's a lot of people, like up the beachfront or something like that. Just do something different and mix it up. Enjoy it. All right. You still run a certain amount of distance that's in that day and for a certain amount of time. You still tick the box that day to achieve your goal, but you're mixing it up, enjoying it a bit. You know, think about why we're doing things. Mix in some fun with it. Make it enjoyable. Mix it up. You know, and you're not going to do that every day, because then that becomes normal and it's not enjoyable or unusual or out there. And I'm not suggesting that total introverts have to become suddenly extroverts. Not at all. You're the only one who has to know about it. It's not like you want to make a spectacle of yourself. If you want to, that's fine. I'm not suggesting that. But just mix it up. Do something different in a way. Just change the normal humdrum. Drive to work a different way. You know, you think, I could go this other way. It's along the beachfront, so I can, see what the ocean's like today, but it takes me 5 minutes extra, 10 minutes extra. We'll leave 10 minutes earlier for work and drive along that way today and just take in the view. You know, you might want to schedule in another minute or two to just stop and park and hop out of the car and just look at the ocean, look at the lake, look at the river, whatever it may be, just to make that trip to or from work today a little bit more enjoyable. Just, don't listen to such serious podcasts all the time. Put something light-hearted on. Watch some light-hearted thing on TV, on Netflix, on whatever you're watching. I could say go to Instagram or TikTok and watch some funny videos, but yeah, that's fine, as long as you just do it for 5 or 10 minutes and not 5 or 10 hours, because those things are just designed to not let you out. The next video is going to be just that much awesome. You're going to get the dopamine hit. If I just hang around for one more, this one will be the best one. You have to maybe set the alarm on your phone for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever, just to get a bit of laughter in, watch some funny things, just take your mind off things. So throw that in, mix that sort of thing in with why we're doing things. And talking about why we're doing things, are we responding or are we reacting? And there's quite a difference there. When we react, it's not purposeful, it's not pre-planned, it's just we react. And often our reactions, we think about later that, I could have reacted to that differently. And other people probably thinking, wow, they reacted pretty unusually to that. Whereas if we responding is very different. When I was in the fire service, they would take a 000 call, or for you Americans, a 911 call, and that operator would come on the public address system at the station and say to us firefighters, respond to, and then they would tell us what, a house on fire at this address, or a car accident, motor vehicle accident. They would tell us to respond. Now, when we responded, we kicked in our training. We all moved quickly towards the fire engine. The person who was assigned to drive it that day responded in a slightly different way to the rest of us. They went to the driver's seat. They got in and started the vehicle. The rest of us, we responded in alignment with our training and in alignment with how we respond at that specific station in regards to traffic, etc. Everything was pre-scripted, planned, when we responded, went a heck of a lot better than if we just reacted to that. If that operator came on and said, "There's a house on fire at this address, quick, get there now," and we all didn't respond, we just reacted, and we tripped over each other and ran towards the truck, and we weren't sure who was going to be driving, who was going to be operating the radio, we would be reacting, and that doesn't work very well, particularly when there's an emergency, and it doesn't work that well in our day-to-day life. So we need to think about that. If something happens, how can I have some sort of pre-plan where I plan to respond? And I've talked in previous podcasts about if something occurs that's a little bit out of our control, with breathing techniques and things like that. We breathe through our nose. If we have some emotional thing coming up now, deep down below our belly button. We hold it for half a second or slightly more if you can, and then we slowly, fully exhale out through our mouth. And then we breathe in again through our nose, deep and slow, down into our belly. And that's responding. And the good thing about that is, if you're going to respond, you need to practice. So as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, or even right now, start practicing big, slow, deep inhales through your nose, deep down past your belly button. Hold it for a second or 2 or 3 seconds if you can, and then relax and let that breath go. And if something's really getting to you, you might need to do 5 or 6 of those over a period of 30 seconds or so, or even more. So responding, I hope I get the point across there, is a lot better than reacting. Because reacting, there's no pre-planned thing what we're going to do. When we respond, we act a lot calmer and in a pre-programmed way, where the outcome will be something we'll enjoy a lot more than if we react. When we ask why are we doing the things we do, are we doing them out of fear? Are we afraid of something? Is that making us do something? And I'm speaking to myself here. I often do things out of fear. In my personality, I have a strength and a weakness. My weakness is fear and my strength is courage. It's a double-edged sword for me. I'm very courageous and I can do some amazing things, but I'm also at times quite fearful. And I have to ask myself, am I choosing to do this or choosing not to do this because of something I'm afraid of? And if so, I need to have a bit of a reevaluate, because I personally find when I act from fear, or I freeze up from fear and don't act, or I act in a way that's not congruent, not a way that's going to achieve an outcome that's purposeful, useful, beneficial to me and to others, then I need to stop and think, I've got to change how I'm reacting here, because I am going to react if I'm afraid and if there's fear. And I've been afraid plenty of times, and that's why I just talked to you a second ago about breathing techniques. I teach that now, to teach people how to use their breathing to remain calm. All right. Have we got maybe the reason we're doing things? It's because there's some divine guidance. We have that sense of purpose I talked about earlier. Do we have an inner knowing? Is our intuition kicking in? Is that still small voice there? Or is there an inner knowing, our gut feel? And with that, we're choosing to follow that divine guidance that, and if we do that, the universe has got our back. And I believe strongly, well, for my life anyway, that the universe won't lead me up the garden path to a dead end that just has no purpose and no meaning or rhyme or reason. The universe always leads me into something purposeful, something beneficial to me and to others, to a place where I can grow into who I need to be, where I can help other people, where it's beneficial, where it's just, you look back and you think, yeah, wow, that was, I'm glad I followed that path. I'm glad I went that way. I'm glad I went with my inner knowing, my gut feel, with that still small voice inside, with that vision I saw in a dream last night, or as I was waking this morning, I just had this moment when I'm semi-conscious of an inkling and intuition of what I should do, where I should go, some totally new activity I should get involved in today. And that's a really good reason of why we're doing things, why we're doing the thing that we're choosing to do today. And so that inner knowing, we're following that. So also too, another reason we could be doing the things why we're doing the things we're doing is to align with a mask that we've put on at that time. We all have masks. Different situations we go into. When I go to work and I do my emergency training for different companies, fire safety training, teaching people how to remain calm, how to use fire extinguishers, how to set up management teams with wardens and things like that to control an emergency. I have a mask on those days. I jump up in front of the classroom like a little bit of a clown to get their attention because, nobody's, looked at their calendar yesterday and goes, oh, I can't wait to get to work today to do fire training again for the 5th time in 10 years. Everyone's bored, so I put a mask on there, and that's the reason why I do what I do, and I have some little one-liner jokes in there just to make things, to get my point across at various times. And yeah, we all put masks on. But I don't wear that mask when I'm at home talking with my wife or my sons, my grandchildren, my mother, my siblings. I put different masks on then. And we all do it. And are they good? Yeah, it's probably not a bad thing at times that we do things like that. We're adapting to the moment, adapting to who we are, where we are, who we're communicating with, and we're responding in a way that's going to be beneficial to other people. So, yeah. All right, so that's some info for you that I think is going to be helpful for people just to get you to think about why you do what you do and whether you need to make some adjustments. And men, please kick in using your intuition as part of the reason why you do things. Okay. Thank you all very much for listening. And as I mentioned, if you're not on YouTube, this is now on YouTube. Look up Intuitive Conversations with Doug and you'll see us there. Thanks everyone. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Well, we're at the end of another thought-provoking episode. Remember to subscribe so you'll be alerted to new episodes. I want to say thank you to the men who are joining me on this journey of intuitive development. I truly hope our time together has expanded your reality and reinforced trust in your ever-reliable gut feeling. Embrace your intuition. It will not lead you astray. Until next time, stay tuned, stay curious, and trust your gut.